I think I'm a lesbian. Am I? Have you ever felt like you were standing at the edge of something you couldn't quite explain? Something deep inside, pulling at you, but you're not sure if it's real or if you're just imagining it. I've been sitting with that feeling for a while now, and let me tell you, it's not easy, especially when the world expects you to know exactly who you are, exactly where you fit in. But what if you're not sure? What if you think you might be a lesbian, but you're terrified to say it out loud? I grew up in a pretty traditional home where relationships were simple. Boy meets girl, they get married, and that's it. You know the drill. So imagine how confusing it was when I started realizing that my feelings weren't fitting neatly into that box. When I looked at women, there was something there, something that I had never really considered before. It wasn't just admiration or, oh, she's cute. No, it was more than that. It took me a while to even admit it to myself. At first, I tried to convince myself it was just a phase or some kind of curiosity. There were moments, like when I was in high school, where I found myself staring at a girl in class and thinking, is this normal? Is this just a fluke? I even told myself it wasn't a big deal, that I wasn't really attracted to her. But deep down, I knew it wasn't just about her. It was about something deeper inside me. That's when I started questioning, what does it mean if I feel this way? I'll be honest, I was terrified to even admit that to myself. Because who would I be? How would I be seen by others? Would people look at me differently? Would I be labeled? And I couldn't help but think, what if I'm wrong? What if it's just a phase? What if this is just me being confused? Here's the thing. No one talks about how overwhelming this kind of realization can be. The fear, the shame, the guilt, the idea of not fitting into the boxes people have for you, it's disorienting. So many people around me had their paths figured out. They knew who they were, what they wanted, and who they wanted. It seemed like everyone had it together except me. But here I was, quietly wrestling with my own feelings, not even knowing if I was allowed to feel this way. There was this moment I'll never forget when I was talking to my best friend. We were just hanging out, laughing about random stuff, when she casually mentioned that she thought some girls were cute. She'd never said that before, and it struck me. Not in a bad way, but I started wondering, what if that's how I feel too? It felt like a light bulb moment, but it also scared the hell out of me. That's when I realized I wasn't just confused. I was actually feeling something, but I didn't know what to call it. And then the labels, they make things even more complicated. Lesbian, bisexual, queer, pansexual, the list goes on. At first, I thought that I just needed to pick one to make sense of everything. But what if that doesn't fit either? What if I don't need to label myself right now? The pressure to pick a label felt suffocating. One time I had a conversation with a friend who said, I think you're definitely a lesbian. You've just been in denial. I wasn't even sure how to respond. I didn't want to hurt anyone or disappoint them, but I wasn't ready to claim that label for myself. It wasn't about rejecting it, but about giving myself the space to explore my feelings without immediately attaching a title to them. Here's where things get tricky. Because the pressure from everyone else, it's real. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked if I'm sure. I've been asked by friends, family, even strangers on social media. Are you sure you're a lesbian? Are you just confused? Are you sure you're not bi? Maybe you're just going through something? The question behind the question always feels like, you can't possibly know yet, can you? And I get it. We all want answers. We all want things to make sense. But it's exhausting. Why is it that people feel the need to define me, to tell me what I am before I even have the chance to understand it for myself? I've gotten comments like, why don't you just say you're bi if you like both? But it's not as simple as picking a side or choosing between two things. It's more complex than that. So I started asking myself some questions. Questions I didn't want to answer because they felt dangerous. But I had to. Like, do I feel more comfortable around women than men? Is there a certain connection I'm craving that I don't feel with men? And here's the big one. Why am I so afraid to admit this out loud? I remember the first time I told someone I thought I might be a lesbian. I said it to my cousin, and it came out almost like an apology. I think I might be a lesbian. I expected shock or judgment or even a weird laugh. but she just nodded and said, "That's cool. You'll figure it out." Her response wasn't revolutionary, but it made me realize that sometimes we put more pressure on ourselves to have all the answers than other people actually do. In that moment, I felt like I was given permission to just exist in my uncertainty, and that was incredibly freeing. The truth is, there's no easy answer. There's no clear-cut way to figure this out. And, for me at least, it's not about a one-time realization. It's a process, a journey, a messy, confusing, beautiful journey. Now, here's the part where the comments are about to explode, because I'm going to ask something that might not be popular. Can we please stop expecting people to fit into boxes? Can we stop pressuring others to come up with clear answers when the truth is sometimes we're just not sure yet? And guess what? That's okay. Some people might not like that. Some might argue that I should know who I am by now, that I need to decide and take a stand. But here's the thing. There's no timeline for self-discovery. Just because I'm questioning doesn't mean I'm less valid. Just because I don't have a neat little label for my feelings doesn't mean they're not real. In fact, I think there's something deeply human about uncertainty. Maybe the real problem isn't me questioning, but the world around me trying to force an answer too soon. So I'm left here navigating these questions and wondering, what's next? Do I need to have it all figured out right now? Or can I simply live in the unknown for a while until I know what feels right? Do I even want to label myself, or am I just looking for permission to exist without fitting into someone else's neat little box? I'm still figuring it out. And maybe that's okay. Maybe it's not about rushing to a conclusion, but about exploring and living in that space of uncertainty. But here's where I want to hear from you. What do you think? Is it okay to question? Is it okay to not know for sure? Or do we all need to have it figured out? And if so, by when? So, am I a lesbian? I don't know yet, but I'm learning to be okay with not knowing. What about you?